Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust. First order of business is to have a little bit of discussion, a resolution of appreciation for Dennis Clowers. And if you would come up here to the front, Dennis, I'll join you down there.
This is a resolution of appreciation for Dennis Clowers. Whereas the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust would like to recognize Dennis Clowers for his 13 years of distinguished public service to the city and the Water Trust. Whereas Mr. Clowers faithfully served with integrity and honor as Public Works Director and City Engineer from 2005 to 2011, and as an Assistant City Manager from 2011 to 2019. Mr. Clowers has been an advocate of water and wastewater initiatives under the purview of the Utilities Department and the Trust. Whereas he has vigilantly carried out his duties preserving the health and welfare of our citizens by ensuring the city consistently provides clean, reliable drinking water and treated wastewater. Through his guidance and leadership, the city increased productivity at Lake Hefner and Lake Stanley Draper water treatment plants. He initiated the interconnect project between the plants and developed the lake level management plan to build a safe, reliable, and resilient regional water supply system and wastewater collection system. Whereas Mr. Clowers played a significant role in the development of the Itoka pipeline project, ensuring long-term water supply to central Oklahoma. Whereas under Mr. Clowers' tenure, the Utilities Department customer satisfaction rating is significantly higher than the national averages in utility services, and setting a national standard for all utility services according to the 2018 Oklahoma City Citizen Survey. And whereas, also under Mr. Clowers' tenure, the Trust received upgraded bond ratings by Standard & Poor's and Moody's, achieving the highest bond rating possible and placing the Water Trust in the top 5% of utilities nationwide. Now therefore be it resolved by the trustees and the chairman of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust that they do hereby formally acknowledge and extend their profound appreciation to Dennis Clowers for his leadership, dedication, and noble contributions during his 13 years of public service to the City of Oklahoma City and the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Godson now.
Thank you. This is going to need a vote, right? Well, while Carl's moving around there to try to, Carl and I are the same age, so I know how hard it is for him to walk around there. I've said this before, this week and last. It's truly a pleasure to be able to work with such a dedicated group of elected officials, trust and board members, and the best professional staff in the country. I can't imagine a municipal staff being any better than what we have here. Francis, I don't know if you wrote this or not, but you gave me a whole lot of credit for work that other people did, but thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. You need to vote.
The minutes of the January 15, 2019 meeting of the Trust have been provided, and I'd need a motion that they be approved.
Move to approve.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Moving into the consent docket, there are a number of items. I would recommend that we approve them all at the same time unless there's individual consideration.
Move the items subject to individual consideration.
Is there a second? Are there any items for individual consideration? Seeing none, we'll vote. Approved. We now have the concurrence docket. We've got couple of items on that, and but likewise, I guess we'll take each one of those individually. The first one, concurrence item number 5A with the approving amendment number 4 and change order number 5 with T.J. Campbell Construction Company on project PC 0418, SC 0988, and WC 0918. Is there a motion for approval?
Move item 5A.
Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Moving to 5B, also concurrence with the City of Oklahoma City in accepting projects PC 0432, street widening improvements, and WC 0906, water line lowering in Reno Avenue from Check Road to Cemetery Road, and placing the maintenance bond in effect.
Move the item.
Been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. We now have items for individual consideration. First item is presentation on the Atoca boat ramp and courtesy dock project.
Mr. Chairman, Larry Hare with our engineering group is here to do item A and B.
Okay.
I'll just wait for the screen to come down. Everybody else can enjoy it as well. Well, thank you very much. This is for the boat ramp and courtesy dock at the Toca Reservoir. And to give you an idea of where this is located, Oklahoma City is way up here, and the Atoca Reservoir is roughly 100 miles southeast of Oklahoma. And then in relation to that, the project that we're talking about is right around the southeast corner of the lake. TAP Architecture has been working on this project for us for several years. It consists of a 150-foot boat ramp with a courtesy dock and improved parking and drive facilities here. We have applied for grant funding where the state would fund 75% of the cost of the facility. We would provide the remaining 25%. We've had numerous meetings with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and have revised our design to try to meet their requirements. Unfortunately, they have run out of money, and that we can reapply for a grant this year if we wanted to. Well, that will take some time. So I want to let you have that in mind, because I want to talk briefly about another project we have at the lake, which is here at the Atoca Dam, where we are rehabilitating the spillway and the spillway chute at the dam, and it's currently under construction. We're hoping for this to be under construction, to be finished with construction by November of this year. So we have one good summer, and we're trying to artificially keep the lake low for this construction to happen, because they have a lot of work here in this area down here below the dam. So the boat dock the boat ramp project is roughly right here, literally around the corner from the Toca Dam project. So due to the timing that we want to have this project completed, and due to the process and the timing it takes to reapply for the grant, try to get the grant, we're recommending to go ahead and construct these facilities without the grant funding, and then to pursue grant funding for other improvements that we may have around the lake.
Are there any questions? Thank you. I'd recognize a motion to approve items A and B.
Move the items.
I'm sorry. A1 and 2, excuse me. Is there a motion to do that? It's been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Now we'll go to B. Sorry about that.
Okay, this is about a project that relates to the Atoca pipeline, the second Atoca pipeline that we wish to put in. If you recall, we have already procured the pipe for it. We have a pricing agreement for that. And the first project that we want to install is a river crossing here on the Canadian River. The current crossing is a 60-inch steel pipe that is about 2,300 feet. It's supported on these kind of supports here up in the air. And in 2015, due to heavy flooding, we had a failure on one of our supports. thereby necessitated a project to fix that with something like this. So we can see that this is an aging facility, and it needs to be replaced. So in addition to installing a new 72-inch line underneath the river, we're going to replace the existing aerial crossing also with a 60-inch pipe underneath the river. So we'll have two tunneling contracts going on at the same time. To help the permitting process along, we're going to keep the existing facilities in place so that we're not messing with environmentally sensitive creatures like the Arkansas river shiner. We're looking to award this contract in April of this year at an estimated construction cost of $30 million, and we anticipate this to be around a year-and-a-half construction.
Are there any questions? If not, I'd recognize a motion to approve being 1 and 2. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Moving into number C.
Mr. Chairman, Nathan Maddenwall will deliver presentations on C and D.
Good afternoon, Chairman and trustees. I'm here to present regarding the Chisholm Creek wastewater treatment plant improvement project we have proposed today, project ST0137. Go into a brief background on the project and its location, proposed improvements within it, the project, and some of the details. So just a quick overview of our wastewater system. Down on the south side, we have our South Canadian watershed in blue. North Canadian is actually comprised of 2 basins for the North Canadian River and the Deep Fork River. So those are green and yellow. And then on the north side of town, we have the one shown in pink, which is our Deer Creek. And then the one of specific interest today, which is orangish, is the Chisholm Creek Basin. And we're doing a project there on the north side for our wastewater treatment plant. So here's an aerial view of the plant itself. So within this project, we're going to do some work at our lift station, which is the main influent pump station, pumps water north up to the treatment works. It'll go through our grit facility that we're building, and the reason we're doing that is to make sure that we pull as much grit and non-biodegradable matter out of it we can so we can protect the downstream systems and pumps. We'll be replacing the non-potable water system, which is where we take treated effluent, pump it around the plant to use it for process work. We're doing upgrades at our solids facilities. We'll be working on how we pump and upgrading our gravity thickener. And then also we'll be doing electrical improvements to make it safer for our guys to do work out there. And then just a couple of piping modifications on the northern end of the plant. We're backwash line and also our effluent line, just some minor pipe work. So the engineer for this project is Tetra Tech. The estimated construction cost is about $7.6 million. We are using SRF funds for this project. We plan to open bids on February 20th of 2019, do contract award March 12th, start construction shortly thereafter, and then we have about a year's worth of construction for this project. And at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? Recognize a motion to approve. Moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Approved. I'm sorry. You're now on.
You got me one more time.
You're on for number 2.
He's on D.
D. Excuse me. D.
Okay. We have two items on the docket here, 2 separate projects that we have involving work associated with ODOT's project. So just wanted to provide a little history on these and some of the special circumstances associated with them. So we have 2 projects, as I mentioned, on the northeast side of town at the interchange of Interstate 35 and Interstate 44. We have Project SC 1038, where we have a 60-inch sewer line that's going to be relocated. And then on the crosstown, or the Oklahoma City Boulevard, we're going to be doing a water line replacement associated with our project there. So a little bit more details on those specific projects. The 68-inch line on the northeast side, we're going to be relocating about 320 feet. And the reason why we need to do that and why we're bringing it to it specifically is the construction's ongoing. The location of the sewer line conflicts with the proposed pier location for their bridge construction. and we need to help expedite the approval of the plans and allow them to start work as quickly as possible, and that's why we have the resolution before you today. I'll get into a little more detail on that. And then on the project we're doing associated with the Oklahoma City Boulevard, there's a portion of 8-inch line that's under Reno Avenue that they're proposing to repave. It makes sense for us to get that line replaced. We weren't able to get that in their original construction letting, but we're able to do that as part of their ongoing construction project at prices what we would normally see for that type of work. So showing you that pictorially on the map, here's the project at the interchange of 35 and 44. So what's shown in green is the existing line location, and we conflict with one of their proposed piers at this location, so they're going to be working to offset that. And so we'll be working with them to get the plans approved as quickly as possible so they can start construction and not impact their interchange construction schedule. And then for the work we're doing downtown, it's along Reno Avenue between Western and Chartel, replacing about 1,400 feet of 8-inch water main. And with that on those, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Are there any questions?
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed there was no charge to the Water Trust for the relocation. Is that being billed to ODOT?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'd recognize a motion for D1 and 2 to be approved. Is there moved and seconded? Any comments? Vote. Approved. Thank you. Any items from trustees?
Other than tell Dennis, job well done.
General Manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things. The pro forma water revenues and our service charges for FY19 are a little below expectation, cold or cooler than normal, summertime and wetter than normal year so far. So our sales are down. So we have a net deficit, what I'll call a deficit in revenues compared to expenses for the year of about $5 million. Our expenses are down, but not quite enough to cover the loss of revenue. However, because of our reserves, we're still in good shape. In that regard, on the wastewater side, we're doing well. Revenue, service charges, and expenses are all on target, so we're doing well there. Second item is personal. Mr. Clowers, I think I disagree with your comment about getting more credit than you deserve. First of all, you brought me here, so you got to get credit for that, right? Just so everybody knows, the resolution that was read the other day to accept his retirement, I didn't vote in favor of that. I'm going to hate to see you go. So I appreciate you bringing me on board, allowing me to be a part of this team, a part of your team. It's been a pleasure for the last 2.5 or so years. And you were instrumental on getting a lot of these projects moving forward during my tenure, your guidance in helping me understand some of the history before I got here and helped me understand how to move forward. Today was a milestone. We bought pipe, and now we're getting ready to install the first section of the Itoka pipeline, which is a big deal to me and to, I know, the Water Trust and the citizens of Oklahoma City. So you were very instrumental there and many other things. So thank you very much for all of your guidance and for helping me through some of these difficult decisions over the last 2.5 years. So thank you, sir. Last thing, CP&Y is the design engineer on our sludge handling facilities at the Hefner plant, and we got an award. So you want to come up and talk about that?
Thank you, Chairman, trustees, Mr. Browning. Man, what a tremendous project, a lot of support. So the project is WTO 118, which is also known as a Hefner solids handling facility. We recently submitted that to ACEC Oklahoma, and were awarded a top 5 honor award for the state regarding this project. We have now, as part of that recognition, submitted it to nationals, which will be held May 7th in Washington, D.C. So hopefully we keeping our fingers crossed that we're going to be selected for that and be able to represent Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust and the staff at that conference. One of the things, I just wanted to thank Sam Samandi and his staff for all of the support and the countless requests for data, as well as the water quality, and Dustin Seagraves, Andrew Mishler, also with the trust, who was the project manager that was appointed by Sam, that I didn't want his job, man. He had to handle over 400 submittals in construction, so that dedication is definitely seen not only here but throughout your organization. So thank you for selecting us as well.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Any citizens to be heard? Seeing none, we adjourn.